The By-Tor show. Sorry for missing last week. We got a good show planned for today. Sorry, I'm finishing up my dinner. I had a nice homemade cheeseburger. That is, if you consider a frozen patty taken out of the freezer, heated up, and put on some bread with some stuff, homemade. But I digress. I think we got some interesting stuff to talk about today. We'll see if any of my hundreds of fans show up to watch. I know it's riveting stuff. I think my audio is working. I can't really, just some technical difficulties for a second here. Yeah, so we have some card packs to open. We're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about international play, among other things. So hopefully you all can hear me. I can't hear myself on the reverb. I was trying something else. I would always keep my volume down on the streams, not hearing anything, but I switched to headphones just so I can hear what's coming out. But I cannot hear anything. One second. Okay. I think that's working now. Okay, well, whatever. If it's not working, so it is. Okay, let's start with some cards. I've been burning to open some cards for the past 2 weeks. I've built up 42 packs. Man, that is so many days of just sitting there. I'm that kind of person with a little bit of obsessive compulsiveness where if things are left undone or like these cards available to be opened and yet not opened, it kind of drives me up a wall a little bit. So now we finally get to release some of that. And look at that. First one off, we get an award card. Lucas Lilja. And this might not be two-time draft related, but I think since every single one of these players was probably drafted, I think it should count in 2 times draft media. Oh, shoot. Second award card. Franz Eller, Jester Trophy. Still waiting for that Beck Jester Trophy. Haven't seen it around yet, even though I've seen later season Jesters in front of the Beck one. So I don't know if this happens to any of you, but I have just had zero motivation to do anything the past week or so. I mean, and it's in the height of the world. Ooh, nice. Hall of Fame card. It's in the height of the World Junior Championship tournament. And, I, right after the holidays, get back to work, like at work, at home, I've just had no motivation to do anything. Oh, man. And I don't want to say that that's some of the reason that the World Junior Championship is a little delayed right now, but that might be a little bit of the reason. Because so where I work, we get like a week off at Christmas. And, after that week, getting back into the swing of things is like pulling teeth. It is rough. So I didn't. Hey, look at that. A me card. Cool. Awesome. I like to see it. Like, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I didn't watch the whole draft last night. Only watched some and then recapped a little bit this morning. But it seemed like a pretty good draft. Not devoid of some gems and busts or potential gems and busts. Bergman, nice. But we'll get to that in a minute. Ooh, dude, second Hall of Fame. Nice. Awesome. Wachter. Isn't that whose user is that? It's the same as Alexander Wachter, isn't it? And that is Texas. I think played for Texas for a while, maybe. I gotta know. MP7. That's it. Alexander Wachter. Yeah. And wasn't MP7? No. I was thinking he was just drafted last night, but that was the other MCP. Cool. 2 Hall of Fames and 3 to 4 award cards. I'll take that. Hey, look at that. Tater Yeager. I'm on the Tater Yeager MVP train for season 68. I think like how far his stats were above everyone else on his team, he gets it in my mind. Hey there, Jess. How's it going? Excuse me. Let's see. I pulled 2 Elias Ekholm Gunnarsson cards in my pack so far tonight. Okay, 4 more. I do only need 2 legs. That's true. That is correct. Can we have another leg on Winnipeg next season? I think a duplicate. I think you could sneak that into the file somehow. Oh, that was a duplicate Hall of Fame I pulled tonight. Okay. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I don't know which one I pulled first. I think it was this one, Evo Willems. And then I think the second one I pulled was the Robert Anderson, which is the best one. Well, I've bought so Luke and Seven and all those who are like neck deep in cards who've been buying them since the beginning. I think I'm at like 70 60 or 70% of the cards they bought. So there was a time there where I wasn't buying cards. So I think I would brag that I'm in the higher end on the league of the amount of cards I have. But obviously, I guess a good Hall of Fame ratio. I got some awards. Let's get rid of these. Some good awards. Still, like I said, still waiting for that Beck Jester award card. Well, and obviously it'd be up here at 99. Oh, man. Okay. That's enough of cards. Got to get to that double media stuff so the graders don't dock me. Not that I need the money. Or maybe I do need the money. I bought all that season training today and I feel poor again, under 30 million. So, but I do have like 8 million for GM plus 8 million for World Junior Championship plus 11 million for updating plus what else is there? Hall of Fame committee, I think is like 3 to 4 million. So what is that? That's 16, 27, like 30 million coming in the next few weeks for job pay, which is going to be nice. I think it's the highest I've ever gotten in one season. Plus the hopefully 8 million from this podcast. So, okay, let's talk about the draft. Where is it? At 69, the season we've all been waiting for, right? Come on, Finn. You got to put users and positions on this. I don't know who any of these people are. Okay. I do know that Luca Payne is St. Louis. So there's seven St. Louis prospects picked in the draft last night, which is quite a few. It sounds pretty bad, but I did not even realize we had 7 rookies on St. Louis's team this season. So, I was a little surprised to see 7 drafted. So, Luca Payne, Nick, defenseman maybe. Right wing. Okay. See, I mean, oh my, oh my gosh, that band. That's good stuff. That's funny. I don't know if there's I know that Nick Tox was in New Orleans for a long time, and there is a serious New Orleans St. Louis pipeline, and I think that has continued now through this draft. I don't know his connection to Minnesota. I'm sure they just had good conversations. I mean, yeah. I mean, both of his previous players were New Orleans players, and that's it. I mean, Zidane was all. Yeah, I guess it does put that in the analytics tool. Oh shoot, previous Winnipeg, or maybe we should hoard all the people who have ever played at Winnipeg, Jess. Okay. So yeah, number 1, I'm sure Nick will turn out fine for them. They need it too. Minnesota, it seems like, is on a cursed ship bound for the depths of the league standings every year. Tampa Bay did have a really good draft. I mean, Agent Smith and who are these users? Ashford and DeBulk, MCP, and Leoben. Yeah, I mean, really good draft for Tampa Bay. And I think they picked up, Fitted. There you go, back Tampa Bay. Heidelberg. Probably gonna miss it. Oh, there it is. Oh my god. Oh, I have never seen this person on the site. Oh. Oh man. What a pick, Tampa Bay. What a pick if my internet loads. I really hope my connection doesn't drop out midstream. It's been pretty choppy recently. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. Depth goalie. Oh man. That's just funny all around. I'm not even gonna get into it. Yeah. Other things that stand out. Bonk and Slappy both went to New Orleans. Can't say I was too surprised. I was very surprised though that Slappy fell to 30th. I mean, he's been pretty great in St. Louis. For the little bit I've interacted with him, but they end up together in New Orleans, so good for them. Can't say it was a surprise that Samsung went back to Buffalo. I think they were there previously. I don't really want to. I mean, good job for Zap being drafted to Calgary. Not only. So, what interested me about Calgary is they selected Sparky 13th overall. And I know that Kez and Sparky were very close in Winnipeg when I was drafted. I believe Kez was the GM and Sparky was, if not like the coach, like a high war room official. So they're pretty good. I have a feeling that Sparky had a hand in bringing Matthew Leclerc and Mark Gorman to Calgary because both are St. Louis players that are both currently in the St. Louis locker room with us. So there is that Sparky connection. We'll see how it turns out for him. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about that. I was surprised that Gecko fell to 35. I thought somebody would pick him up somewhere closer to the top of the second round just because he's fun to have around. Yeah, I mean, pretty good draft. I honestly I really honestly expected it to be much deeper, being the season 69 draft. And I know it's like just a meme, being the class of S69, but I mean, I expected it to be deeper. I mean, there's classes that are, easily 3 rounds deep on Reddit years, and I think 69 was a Reddit year. I can't say that for certain, but yeah, it kind of surprised me. So I also expected DeWalt 4Chains to go higher. I mean, DeWalt is the only interactions I've had with him are with him being my GM in Berlin for the ISFL. And he is like all over that locker room. Like, he is the GM, but he runs that place. He runs it well. So I was kind of surprised that he fell so low based on the potential that he has for contributing to the SHL. I do know that ISFL is his main, target and focus. So there might be a little less that comes towards SHL way, but I mean, fantastic user. So New Orleans did get a great one out of DeWalt, and I think there is well, seems like everyone's in ISFL from all over the SHL, but to me, it seemed like there was a especially high concentration of ISFL people in New Orleans. Let's see. Okay, I mean that's probably about it on the draft. I don't. Let me look at the analytics here, see if there's anybody. Oh, I mean, yeah. How could I forget? So Winnipeg drafted Randamino, which, I mean, I think Randamino, based on our interactions, we've had interactions for years, I think, because Randamino was in Hockey Dynasty, which was the site that I was on that brought me to SHL. So, I mean, and he was fantastic there. He's a World Junior Championship GM now and is very involved in his UCorkle team. It's just great to have around, and I think Winnipeg hit a home run with this pick. I mean, since the Danger Zone with what's your player's name? It's something American sounding. Paul Peterson, yeah. Since Paul Peterson is getting, or not a weird name, not necessarily American. Could be Canadian. I'm not a nationalist here, but Peter Vrana will be the only prospect in the Winnipeg pipeline. So being a Winnipeg prospect at this point in the franchise is a lonely proposition, but being in the locker room, it's basically no different than being on the roster for how involved everyone is. So I can't imagine that any locker room is better than the one in Winnipeg. Because, I mean, Winnipeg is, there's really it's the best Discord channel that I have ever been a part of, like in terms of the people that are there and the discussion that goes on and, just how good it is. Now, granted, I am in the higher channels, like in the Worm and all that, and a lot of discussion does happen there. But, I mean, Winnipeg is one of the best franchises, hands down. And I think Ace and Rashford should get a lot of credit for that, just as well with the tactics. I mean, it's a great place to be. And not unfortunately, but They didn't need another pick, but they didn't really have a pick high in the draft. So they got what they want. But I am honestly astonished at how many picks Winnipeg has over the next 3 to 4 seasons. Like, I think they have 2 first-round picks next year, 2 first-round picks the next year after that, then maybe 1 and 1. So, like, and then a few extra seconds in there, I think. So, like, Winnipeg is stacked in draft stock, and they are stacked in roster. So the assets flowing, in Winnipeg are just crazy right now. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the World Junior Championship, which I am currently trying to get simmed and running, and we'll see. I want to give the biggest shout out and thank you to Blitz for simming the preseason and got that ball rolling. I mean, I needed somebody to do it, and he stepped in, and I really appreciate it. And we're going to have some other heroes step up here to sim the round robins and medal rounds, and we'll get through this. But in the preseason, Doc did walk away with a 6-0-1 record. Can't say I'm too surprised. It is preseason, and some lines weren't said, and it's people figuring stuff out. So you shouldn't take this to heart too much, but a lot of it did come out and shake out the way I expected it to. Doc Canada and Ucorkle towards the top, Ice North America, towards the bottom. British Isles down there, I'd say I'm a little surprised they're that low. I did expect Finland, Sweden, World, and US to be kind of in the middle. US could be a little higher, but 4 and 3 in preseason is not bad. Plus, and a positive goal differential. Players, we're not seeing some crazy numbers like we have in the past. Like, I mean, some point per game players, but we're not seeing the 13 points in 7 games and that sort of thing right now, which is good. I like that. Just taking a quick look here. So, yeah. I expect the next round robin sim to be tomorrow, and then we can sim the round robin Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So about 4 games per sim. And then roll over into the medal rounds on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the SMJHL draft being, well, I don't know if it's publicly announced yet, but possibly sometime that weekend. I mean, I don't know what else to say right now about World Junior Championship. We'll get into the questions. I did see questions about World Junior Championship, so I can talk about it then. Let's get into some questions here. I know my Winnipeg peeps sent me some questions. Thank you. Prayer hands. Okay, Jess. Well, here you go, right off the bat. What can head office do to make your life easier in World Junior Championship? I'm glad you asked, Jess. So I kind of want to go into a little bit of background here. So Zodiac user held the World Junior Championship commissioner position before me. I worked in conjunction with him fairly closely as North America GM for a number of seasons. And what I got out of his experience is that it is not an easy job. And I have now realized that it's not an easy job because there's not as much league interest in the World Junior Championship as there is in the IIHF, SMJHL, and SHL. Now, some of that may be self-inflicted, where, the World Junior Championship might not be as organized because there's not as much help. Therefore, if it's not as organized, people are a little less, apt to be invested in it. So I think, like, for me, so this is my second World Junior Championship. I think last year there was a lot of hype going into it. I was excited to do it, try to figure out, everything, get everything rolling. This one, unfortunately, it hit right at the holidays, so my personal motivation was kind of low. Like I said, in doing stuff and getting things rolling, which kind of made the tournament hit a wall. And it hit that wall because, I mean, honestly, like you say, it's just me in terms of pushing that ball, up the hill. And HO head office and all the, commissioners and all that help, and it's fine. I just, there's certain things that need to be done. For example, simming. I know some, like Blitz, Corey, stepped in and offered to sim, and that's what I need. But I think I need a dedicated simmer for the tournament. And the unified sim team can do that. I mean, I know HO is talking about the unified sim team now for a season or two, but if I can just have the sim team and I can just say, okay, here's the dates of the World Junior Championship. I need them simmed this day, this day, this day. Do it. And they say, okay, that's what we're here for. I think that would make my life so much easier. And I will say that it's the same thing for firework. I've gotten lucky in that Serpy has been my fireworker for both seasons now, and going back into the previous commissioner's reign. So Serpy has been very good at getting me files on time, working through errors, that sort of thing. But if Serpy were to say, I don't want to do this anymore, having a team or somebody that is a dedicated file worker to do that for me, where I don't have to go out, post job applications for that sort of thing. I just have a team already set to, do that stuff. It takes a lot off me. And some of you may have seen, I did post some co-commissioner jobs like last year to help out. I still think those would be nice to be filled, just so, there's one or two other people that, can push things. If I'm predisposed or, just not feeling it, they can, get on that and do some things. But, yeah, I mean, just thinking. I mean, the dedicated sim team at this point, is the thing that's screaming for the most attention. Yeah, and I mean, and you guys, HO already does it, just offering to help when help is needed. Somehow I need to hook people into being co-commissioners of World Junior Championship, because there's a lot of work right now, like forum announcements and like history build outs on the forum that I need to do, but I just don't really have the motivation to do right now. And if I had somebody else or two other people that I can, lean on to do that stuff, I think it would be easier. Um, I am somebody. I'm personally a person that likes to try to see things through. So, you know, I'll stay here and be here as commissioner, but if things keep going south, I don't know how long it's going to last in the current iteration for how things have been going. Yeah, so that's kind of the state of the World Junior Championship head office and backdoor, um, status. Okay, next up, what are your thoughts on the women's suffrage movement? Why did they let women start to vote? That's horrible. Man, we should all move to Croatia, where I've heard they don't let people vote there or women vote there. That would be so nice. We could have, um, you know, just parties all the time because, women, what are they talking about? Yeah, those are my thoughts. Yeah, because I'm me, I'm gonna get in trouble. No, yeah, those are my thoughts. What is my favorite beer or adult beverage? Um, None of the above. I'm not really a beer drinker or an alcohol drinker. I'm one of those people that I drink something with alcohol in it, and the first thing I can taste is the alcohol. And it doesn't matter how strong or how not strong the drink is. It just that's like the first thing, and I don't know. I just can't get past that. And who is that celebrity that like created that whole drink line? Oh, I think it was Blake Lively. She created like the whole drink line because she didn't drink alcohol, but she felt left out at parties because all her friends were drinking whatever drinks. And so she'd bring her bottle of whatever you call it. And so she's like, oh, I'm the non drinker designated driver. And I'm drinking this insert brand name here. That's kind of me. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I don't care about the whole social aspect, but I'd much rather have a root beer or a Pepsi or, something like that over a beer or other adult beverage. That's just my personal preference. And I think it is kind of, I mean, I'm never ever saying holier than thou, but I mean, alcohol, too much of it, and beer get a little bit of a belly, and I get a belly from other things like sugar and cheeseburgers. So, adding alcohol to that, it's probably a good thing that I don't partake and indulge. That and Starbucks coffee. I don't drink Starbucks coffee because some of my family members love Starbucks, and I don't want to burn that hole in my wallet. So, yeah, that's my drink background. What should you have for dinner tonight, Jess? I think you should have, let me think. I think you should have baked ziti. That's what you should have. I love it. So you take, I'm sure everyone knows how to make baked ziti, but take your ziti, put it in the pot, boil it up a little bit so it gets soft. Get a like a lasagna pan out. Put a little bit of a tomato sauce in there, whichever your favorite tomato sauce is. Okay, more background. My household is a vegan, sometimes vegetarian household. So we get my wife is 100% vegan. I'm just the sometimes vegetarian. But we get the vegan sausages and stuff, and we cut those up, put them in the baked ziti. So you get the bowl, put some sauce in it. Once your ziti's done cooking, put the ziti in it, put the cut up sausage in it, put some more sauce in it, put some vegan cheese in it, or just cheese, whatever your style is. Mix it up, put it in the lasagna pan, put it in the oven for like 20-25 minutes at like 375. You take that thing out, it's like crack. I sit there, I eat the first bowl of baked ziti, I go back, I fill it up again, eat the second bowl, and before I know it, like 3/4 of the lasagna pan is gone. So I think that's what you should have for dinner tonight, Jess. It's A plus. And the other thing about baked ziti is you have some left over, put it in a Tupperware, take it to work tomorrow, microwave it. It's just as good, if not, well, I won't say better. It's better. It's best just out of the oven, but it's just as good re-microwave the next day for lunch. So don't have to worry about what you're going to take for lunch the next day. Love it. Do it. Done. What is one misconception everyone has about the place you live, and why is it wrong? So, for those of you who don't know, I live in North Carolina. I'm originally from Ohio. I'm not from North Carolina, but I've lived in North Carolina for 2023, 18 years now. So I'm pretty much a North Carolinian. I've lived in North Carolina for longer than anywhere else. So North Carolina, misconceptions. Everyone's a redneck. Reality, most of them are rednecks. There's probably more people that live in my area that are from New York and Ohio and Massachusetts and all the Northeast than there are from North Carolina. Yeah. Let's see. Another misconception is that it's not a hockey town. I mean, I'm in Raleigh, so the Hurricanes are here. There are, maybe it's not like Montreal or Boston or New York or that sort of thing, where there's like 8 billion hockey fans, but we have a ton of hockey fans, and they are just as passionate as the fans that are up north. So when some people complain about storm surges and, oh, you can't fill a building and all that stuff, it's just that's just the petty stuff trying to get under the other fan base's skin. So, I mean, it's just a different culture too. I mean, we'll go to the games, tailgate before the game, just like a college football game, and just have a good time. And what are sports for if not entertainment? So that's something about where I live. Thank you, Jess, for the questions. I really appreciate it. Next up, the newest member of the Winnipeg Aurora, Randomino. Who are the winning and losing organizations of the draft, in my opinion, and which draft day trades are my favorite? Biggest surprise selection from your perspective? How much to rig World Junior Championship for your new teammate? Sorry, Randomino, I can't rig the World Junior Championship for you publicly. I can do it privately. No, that's off the record. I literally have no input in the World Junior Championship. I just set it up, and then the Simmers go to work while I'm sitting back collecting my paycheck. That's how it is. About the draft, well, the biggest winner is Winnipeg because we got random, right? No. I don't want to get too controversial. That's just not this kind of show. But I honestly do think New Orleans made out pretty well. I mean, they got DeWalt, as I said, Slappy and Bonk, and others. I think they did fairly well. I think I mean, for the one pick Winnipeg did have, they got it. So that, I mean, I count that as a win. And I just don't know so much about all the others. I think I heard. I don't know. Yeah, I would say New Orleans did well. Losers. I mean, did Seattle even have a pick in the draft? No. So there you go. Seattle's the loser. Biggest surprise selection. I think there were a few surprises, both negative and positive. To me, I honestly was kind of surprised that Sparky fell as low as he did at 13. I mean, Sparky is very entrenched in the league. So having, 10 teams pass on him is a little surprising. So yeah, I would say that would be a surprise selection of mine, or non-selection. I would expect Sparky to have gone higher, and DeWalt too, and Slappy. So yeah, thank you, Randomino, for the questions. Next up, Ace, our fearless leader of Winnipeg. What are my thoughts on the Aurora going into season 69? I mean, cup or bust, right? Cup or bust. I mean, we got the talent. We're killing it during the regular season until like the end there. The question was my thoughts on the Aurora. I think we need to just we need to do it this year. I mean, no choking in the playoffs. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen, and we're gonna. I mean, based on how things are, we're gonna have to roll through Chicago and Seattle and Montreal, or not Montreal. They're in the East. Whoever it is. Yeah. Calgary, maybe. Winnipeg, Chicago, Seattle. Those are. And then if NOLA gets better, I don't know. It just has to happen this year. And I honestly think that anything short of a cup is a loss at this point. I mean, even if we made it to the finals, if we lost to somebody like Toronto or Manhattan or Montreal, I think it would be a loss because no hardware coming home our way after being like the top skilled team in the league for like 3 seasons now. So that's what I think about the Aurora and S68. In terms of roster, I think that those playoffs. Let's go to regular season. I think that in goal, solid. Can't be any better. Literally cannot have a better goaltending duo than what we have. Like that, no concerns, zero concerns, negative concerns about goaltending. Like, yeah, perfect. Building from the back up, defense. I mean, Beck is the top defenseman on the team again this year. I think he had a pretty good season last year. So just trying to build on that, keep it going. And honestly, so Beck, my player, I mean, everyone likes when their player does well, right? So, I keep an eye on it, and I'd like to try to be the best defenseman on the team because that's, everyone wants to do well. And it's hard. It is really hard to keep, to watch my player who is, 400 some TPE above the rest of the defensemen be like right there. I mean, and it's not a slight on anything. It's a compliment to how good Jay O'Neill is and Kinsinger and Duncan, Soderberg and Farquaad's. Like all those players are great. I mean, and it's a healthy internal competition to try to one up each other. I do expect that Beck has, well, I don't know who the partner is going to be for Beck this year. I think last year it was Kinsinger, based on the stats and everything. It's possible it might switch to being O'Neill. Well, it depends really where we get played. But I think defense is pretty solid. I mean, let me go to analytics here. So, current roster. Okay. So there's a little regression stuff in here. So Gonzo is going to be down here with me. Regression. But I mean, defense. O'Neill. So Beck is going to be at 19 something. O'Neill is going to be mid 17s. 17. 15. 11, mid 11s. So I mean that's a good defensive core. Oh, and Jurt here at 1500. I mean that's a good defensive core. And I mean Rashford and Jess, and they know how to build the players too. So I think Winnipeg has a real shot of keeping those goals against really low again this year. I think we just need to up our scoring again. And I think it picked up there in the middle of the season. Like we figured something out, but it just needs to continue the whole season and into the playoffs till the end of the playoffs. And I think the one player I expect more out of and really expect to boom this season is probably it might be Leg or Rashford. It might be Leg because Elias, they led the World Junior Championship in scoring. So I think there's a scoring touch that's there. I mean, almost point per game, so it's nothing to scoff at either. Okay, let's continue on. If I was in public and doing my weekly update on a laptop and someone looked over your shoulder and asked what you were doing, how would you respond? Depends where my page was. If it was looking at like your signature, people would look over my face and see Lord Farquaad in a hockey jersey with some neon hippie stuff happening in the background and think I'm like in some weird cult. But no, well, it kind of actually happened to me. Not the weekly update thing, but as you know, I have a Winnipeg Aurora jersey that I created and bought and have. And when I went to DC a few months ago, I went to a Capitals game and I wore the Winnipeg Aurora jersey. And I did have somebody come up to me and was like, "What team is that?" Or "That's cool looking," whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Yeah, it's, this online league, just made up stuff." I think he had kind of a little hard time wrapping his head around it, but I was like, "Yeah, go to, SHL, just Google it, like Simulation Hockey League, and look into it." So I don't know if if he did that or is on the league, but he liked the logo and the color scheme of the Aurora jersey. So um, I think people are pretty open to stuff like that. Just so yeah. Closing questions or closing thoughts. I'm just about at an hour here. Oh yeah. So closing, I do want to say or reiterate that I am on the Tater New England MVP train. I think it's a pretty obvious choice. I know I listened to some podcasts that disagree, but we'll see how the prestigious awards committee decide who is the MVP. And the closing thoughts about the draft. Good draft. I'm excited for next draft. I will say that just reading Discord. Every time a draft comes on and happens and there's excitement about it, I want to like recreate my player every single time, but I know that's not going to happen. Well, and Beck, I'm trying to keep him as long as possible and go after some franchise longevity. But it is, when you to get drafted, it's like one of the cooler things to do in the league. If you're not a new user, then a recreate, and everyone's like, "Oh, pick this person," or "I want this person," blah blah blah. Well, I'm sure in my case, I would go undrafted right now. But yeah. So watch the World Junior Championship tournament tomorrow. Tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. If I get a simmer. I think fantasy is open, isn't it? Didn't I sign up? I swear I signed up, but I don't think I was given a group. I gotta look into this. let's see. Maybe they just didn't tag me right. By-Tor in shoot, what was it? League. What's the it's under player development. Player development fantasy leagues. What? Why am I not assigned a group? I swear I signed up. Wait, we gotta look into this some more. Fantasy. That's unfortunate. I swear I signed up for this season. Oh well. I guess I'll have to wait list. I did hear today that waitlisting can be a strategy to please to maybe get some people that aren't as committed in your group to try to wiggle your way into some more TPE. Evoc will probably hate me for waitlisting now and breaking their group, but last year was the first time I ever got fantasy TPE, like after 9-10 seasons. So we'll see if we can get some again this season. Okay, I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else to cover. We're over an hour. Hopefully for anyone grading it, you give me a little bump. I know it wasn't all about the draft or World Junior Championship, but does it count if I'm the commissioner of World Junior Championship that all of my media is ×2? I think that counts. I think that's a valid logical argument. So I'm gonna leave with that. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I know I missed last week. I'll try not to miss next week, and we'll keep going from there. So see you all next week.